to bother him. Watch, immediately the hand goes on the arm. He bothers him. He holds a hand on the hip that time, hand on the elbow that time, and the foul is called.
It's 7 free throws attempted between the two teams in the first half. Far more here in the second. What has changed to put him in that kind of position?
A couple things. One, the team's taking the ball to the basket a little bit more, not quite the same number of jump shots. Second thing, the defensive intensity has picked up a little bit more. Technical foul called that time by Jake O'Donnell on Alvin Robertson. The other thing is that the officials will try and tighten up the game, control the game a little bit more if they feel it's getting a little too physical.
We'll walk to the other end of the floor, and Michael Jordan will shoot the free throw on the technical on Robertson. 2 of 3 shooting today. Michael Jordan from the free throw line. He has 19 points. He is averaging over 32 a ball game. Third quarter of play.
Alvin Robertson giving a look as if to say, I don't understand why I was hit with the technical. Joe Dumars walked over to try and calm things down, and Jake O'Donnell just whispered to Joe, he knows why he got the technical.
Olden Polynice will take the place of Alvin Robertson. And Joey Dumars, one of the top free throw shooters in the NBA at the line. Dumars in the top 20. He's got a game-high 25 points. And the Pistons up by 9. Gibbons got 7. Jordan's got 20. Nice ball rotation, but the defensive Rodman closes the door. Double is king. Now he's got the single, and that's usually a shot he can make, and there to clean it up is Scotty Williams.
If there's one player that Ron Rothstein has to be concerned about on the floor, it's Isaiah Thomas. He went into the half with 3 personal fouls. With just under 6 minutes remaining here in the third quarter, he would like to get out of this quarter without Isaiah picking up another personal foul. So he has all 3 to use in that final quarter.
Walker picks up the personal foul.
Chicago has made a concerted effort to get on the offensive boards. The first shot is missed, but then Williams keeps it alive and puts it in.
Dumars the miss, and there's a rebound for Jordan. Pippen, King. 1, 2, 3, down it goes for 2, and the Chicago Bulls now trail 67-62.
Well, finally, a little bit of a transition game for Chicago. Ron Rothstein feels it coming on, so he calls for the timeout.
This is the closest the Bulls have been in a long time. Down by 5, halfway through the third. And it's a 5-point game. Bulls have trailed by as many as 17. Double-digit leads for the Pistons throughout the first half up until halftime when they led by 7. 83% first quarter shooting by Detroit. Bulls have kind of weaved their way back in this one. King trying for 2 and a foul called inside. Dennis Rodman will pick it up. McCloskey, you may bring up a good point. McCloskey leaves and Chuck Daly leaves, and that has affected him, you think?
No question. Dennis here playing defense down in the low post area, up, challenging as Dennis plays post people as well as anyone in this league. He wants to call for the free arm push-off on King. But with the 2 people moving on, Jack McCluskey, Chuck Daly, they were the ones that brought Dennis Rodman into the NBA. They were the ones that helped him develop his game, his style of play, his role within the team. And then suddenly, when they move on, along with close friends like James Edwards, Vinnie Johnson, John Sally, all these things have affected him. Now, if you look on the back of his head, the little haircut today says bite the melon. And we'll get to that a little bit later on as to what bite the melon means.
Bite the melon is something that he was saying to people that were criticizing his play, and his response to the criticism he was receiving was, tell him to go bite the melon. In that contest here on radio and TV stations in Detroit, trying to actually derive the meaning of that. Here's Bill Laimbeer. Nice pass to Rodman.
They've had T-shirts come out, bite the melon, and Dennis trying to be very nice in explaining what it means. Just said basically if people don't like something that's going on.
Nice pass by Laimbeer on top to Rodman. Michael had a screen, back to double screen. Dumars late getting there, and Michael Jordan puts it in. He's got 22, leading the Chicago Bulls. It's a 3-point game. Last time the lead was 4 or less was with about 3 minutes gone in the first quarter of play. That gives you a feel for how long this comeback for Chicago has been. It has taken time, and there's a foul That's called on the Bulls and on Scottie Pippen.
Let's go back to a moment ago. The jump shot by Michael Jordan. He goes down in low, gets himself lost in here, and then off a screen winds up clearing himself, hopping out for the jumper. Get lost, hide behind a screen. Just a split second, all he needs to find an opening.
3.5 left in the third. Lambier. That used to be an easy shot for him. I guess it still is.
He came back, gave him a big game in the last outing, 28 minutes after he had missed the previous 2 games. His back is still very stiff and sore, but the one thing he can do is stand still and shoot the basketball.
And they didn't cover him, and that was his trademark years ago. Michael Jordan puts it in. What a shot! 24 points for Jordan. He had 14 at halftime, so he's got 10 here in the third quarter alone. Golden Polonese. Moving by King. They knew his defense was somewhat questionable. Polonese gets his own miss, and he's fouled inside. Walker with the foul for Chicago. He is tagged with his third.
Well, we had mentioned that the Bulls would probably try to get Scottie Pippen involved here to start the second half, but this guy has taken it upon himself, talking about Michael Jordan, to light it up, heat it up, and keep the Bulls within striking distance of Detroit. The Bulls still need to get back to Scottie Pippen, only 7 points at halftime, still with only 7 points here as we wind down the end of the third quarter.
Golden Polonese, and you can see where he ranks in the NBA in free throw percentage. Interestingly enough, he was drafted in the Chicago-Seattle thing. Polonese was drafted by Chicago. Seattle, back in '87, drafted Pippen. They switched. So those two players on the floor right now have had divergent paths to where they have ended up. Pippen, a dream teamer, and Polonese has kind of struggled to find his niche in the league.
And it's a concern what we just saw. They have free throws, and there is Scottie Pippen getting a little bit involved here in the second half, third quarter. We talked about that free throw percentage. It's a concern of Rothstein down the stretch, who he has on the floor.
Scottie Pippen with the rebound. We got a 2-point game. Closest it has been since a 2-0 lead. Last tie was 6 apiece. Walker. From 18. And the Chicago Bulls have come back to tie. Walker with 8, Chicago down by 17 in the second quarter. The march has continued to a tie here late in the third.
Darryl Walker coming into the game was shooting 33% from the floor. He is 4 for 5 this afternoon.
There's a hack inside, and Stacey King draws his second personal foul with 1:57 remaining in the third. Chicago started the game 40% from the field. They've upped that now to 52%.
Well, Jordan heats it up a little bit. They've gotten some shots down close inside. Plus, they've gotten to the free throw line a couple times, which obviously, when you get fouled, it does not count as a shot attempt unless the basketball goes in the basket. So all reasons why their field goal percentage has come up, along with the fact that they have gotten a few more transition scores on fast breaks.
Polonese from Virginia. He is coming off one of his best games of the season, 20 points, 14 rebounds, Thursday against the Denver Nuggets. And today, Olden Polonese has 5 points and 1 rebound. Scott Williams collects it inside. They're tied, and Chicago could take their first lead of the ballgame. 1:45 left in the third. Pippen's warmed up his third. Scottie Williams. Pippen. Shot clock at 5 as you see. Jordan. Pippen keeps it alive. 24-second shot clock went off. It should not have, because Jordan grazed the iron.
The ball did hit the rim, and this year a little change in the rules. In the past, it had been if the ball hit the backboard, there was a reset. This year, the ball must hit the rim to be a reset. It did hit the rim that time. There should have been a reset.
We've got a close game now, 72 apiece. Chicago about ready to take their first lead should they hit. And I'm wondering how Detroit is in close games. You follow this team as a local TV analyst.
This team has struggled and been in a number of close games. In fact, they have lost 13 games by 4 points or less. And if we had the time, I could explain, they've done it every different way you can imagine of losing 1, 2, 3, and 4-point games.
Jordan trying to go inside. Lambier met him. Nice defense by Bill Lambier. Here comes Melvin Newbern. Jordan's on him. Rodman knocks out Jordan. That's a steal and a 2-on-1 with Walker. And And the Chicago Bulls have taken the lead for the first time, coming back from 17 down, a 19-point